Race 5 at Belmont jumps at 3 o'clock. It's the Betty Loxton handicap over 1,000 metres. And our horse in focus, we haven't seen this horse in a little while, so we'll have a look at the most recent trial of Rebel Yell.
Melteam, My Lady Fair and Rebel Yell's there as well. They head down towards the line. Melteam went up on the outside. Pip has the inside running though, and punching through in the centre is My Lady Fair. Pip the inside. My Lady Fair driving at it. Pip holding on. Pip just over My Lady.
Not uncommon to see Lou Luciani's team return to the races just off a 400 metre trial, and I'm expecting the horse with the inside gate from 3 to settle pretty prominently in this event. Brodie Kirby's on board. He's running in good form, especially with inside draws. He seems to be handling those with aplomb and taking the gaps at the right time. But Rebel Yell so far has been showing a really nice ability, especially over this distance range, and all things considered, it should be very strong going to the line. Second pick for me is the 4 Fair Joy. It returned with much better performance last start. It does have a slightly difficult gate out there with 8, but it should follow Chisano across and settle in the breeze. It's been a very good performer over the 1,000 metre trip. Third pick is the 8, which is Dehune. It was restrained back towards last start, but really finished off with a very strong performance down the outside. The inside gate from 2, Julian Cockatagelo could possibly settle the horse just behind the leaders if it jumps well, but otherwise be looking for a soft run in transit. And then fourth pick is the 6, which is Chisano. Expecting this horse to come across from gate 7 and try and lead this event. We saw last start it was just collared late by Lido Beach and what was a relatively modest tempo. I think this will be a little bit more up tempo, which I think will suit the horse well. On top in race 5 is 2 Rebel Yell from 4 Fair Joy, 8 Dehune and 6 Chisano. Race 6 at Belmont jumps at 3:35. It's the Lorna Mitchell handicap over 2,000 metres. And our horse in focus, we'll go back to Northam to have a look at the most recent performance of British Bessie.
Just behind those, about to angle around their heels. Drop the Orange, still runs on, followed further back at the head of the others, Glamour Bell and Victoria Sheena, but British Bessie now surges clear. 300 from home, British Bessie shaken up in front, led by 2.5 lengths to Drop the Orange. Kabbalah sticks on. Jeva Bell going up between horses, but it's British Bessie out near the middle of the track, down to the 100, drawing right away, and British Bessie goes on to win it well for Pike. British Bessie by about 2.5 to 3, Drop the Orange.
I thought it was a really impressive performance by British Bessie last start at Northam. The leader got off to a 5-length head start on a very strong tempo. British Bessie was settling outside in the breeze and had to drag the entire field up, but when it loomed around the corner, it just let go and finished off the race very strongly indeed. The horse has been showing a very nice turn of foot lately, and gate 6 does look ideal. Should be able to put itself into a midfield at worst position and use that turn of foot to be very hard to beat late. Second pick is the 1, which is Jacka's Mob. I think of all the on-speed horses, and there might be a few of them coming across from out wide, Jacka's Mob looks best credentialed. Typically it does appreciate a very strong tempo, and I'm expecting there should be a bit of that here in this event. 5 is the third pick, Satiric. You can almost forget it went around last start. It was a slow tempo race on the inside. I'm not sure that's necessarily its go. 2 starts prior, we saw it doing a lot of work out wide and getting into momentum before the turn. I think that would be the best go here, although gate 3 possibly might need a little bit of luck getting off the fence at some point. And then fourth pick is 7, Speeding Bullet. It's another horse that should be improved by a bit more tempo in the field. I think gate 5 looks ideal, could possibly settle that extra pair forward. Last start was 3 back defence and not really clear at any stage. On top in race 6 is 3 British Bessie from 1 Jacka's Mob, 5 Satiric and 7 Speeding Bullet. Race 7 at Belmont jumps at 4:10. It's the Esther Road Knight handicap over 1,400 metres. And our horse in focus, we'll have a look at the most recent performance of Devoted Star.
Dropping out Clark, Devoted Star with Pike cutting back towards the rail at the 250, and he now asks to the go, and it's Flower of War out by 3 Rose Bush. Devoted Star charging home down near the inside. 150 left to go. Devoted Star's coming brilliantly on the inside of Flower of War. It's Flower of War in front. Devoted Star trying hard. Patterson saw the shadow of Devoted Star.
Devoted Star's coming from a pretty hot form race. It was looming up behind Flower of War, who's subsequently won on a Saturday. Devoted Star on that occasion showed a really nice turn of foot in the closing sections. It did take the shortcuts, however, running along the fence, but he'll probably try and do the same thing here from gate 2, and that is Willie Pike's best when he can find those gaps coming into the straight. The horse looks to have a stack of ability, and the step up in distance looks perfect for it. So it goes on top for me from 4 Gates of Babylon. It led a good tempo last start, in fact quite a strong tempo, and the horse really appreciated that. It was a dominant winner. I think they'll try the same thing here. It's drawn out from gate 8. We'll probably have Black Shadow on the outside of it for company, so I'm expecting another genuine speed here. Third pick is a 2, Playing Marika. I'm not sure it necessarily was suited first up. It was outside the lead in 4th position, so it was still a little bit wide without cover. And it was also mildly lame after the race. So as long as the horses come back okay, it should be better suited here with gate 3. And then 4th pick is a 3 itself. Men of Muck and Boodin. I thought this was a nice hidden run first up. The horse was basically back last for most of the run. It took a while to find a gap, but when it found it in the straight, it really accelerated well through the line. So it might be a nice roughie to include in this event. On top in race 7 is 13 Devoted Star from 4 Gates of Babylon, 2 Playing Marika and 3 Men of Muck and Boodin. That brings us to the last, race 8, jumping at 4:45. It's a free entry to Belmont Park Handicap over 1650 metres, and our horse in focus will have a look at the most recent start of Lucky Linda Lulu.
Friars Fancy, Lucky Linda Lulu, Megadon, and Stoicism to the outside, called upon. Black Shadow again gets the head in front. Friars Fancy now accelerates. Stoicism down the outside, and Megadon with Pike pushing through in the middle. Over towards the inside, Lucky Linda Lulu, Stoicism, Megadon and Immortalites coming late. Stoicism gets the head in front. Stoicism, it's Stoicism.
I thought it was a good performance last start from Lucky Linda Lulu. It box-seated on what was a muddling tempo. It only got clear at the 200 metre mark. Had to sit sprint, and when it did get the gap, it did accelerate well going to the line. It just had a few horses on the outside that had a bit more momentum, but I think from gate 6 it should be able to build momentum coming around the turn this time and use that turn of foot that it shows in most starts. Second pick for me is the 4, which is Discoville. It was another horse that had to sit sprint last start, land in the box seat, but behind a tiring leader, had to wait for that gap to emerge in the straight. And although it did go towards the line, seemingly a bit one-paced, it was in front just after the post. So I think the horse does look better suited here from gate 5. Third pick is the 11, which is Black Attack. I think first up at Northam, it was just a bit too short for it. It was off a very slow tempo as well. The horse probably got a bit too far back, but it was doing its best work late. And then 4th pick is the 1, Stoicism, who really didn't look particularly suited last start. Bit of restraint early, landed 3 wide without cover, but the horse built momentum coming around the turn, and that was enough to get the job done over Lucky Linda Lulu. But I think Lulu can turn the tables here. So 12 on top for me from 4, Discoville, 11, Black Attack, and 1, Stoicism. Best bets at Belmont, race 3, number 6, Showmanship, and race 6, number 3, British Bessie. That's all for us here at Perth Racing. If you'd like to keep up to date with us, please stay in touch via our website or on social media. Until next time, I'm Pete Anthonus. Good punting and go well.